So, Jimmy, not too long ago, the Annual Nordic Surveillance report for 2017 was published. Can you tell a bit about what the report contains and what information readers can find in it?
Yes, so the annual report contains and describes the main day-to-day activities of the Nordic surveillance team during the past year. It talks about the areas of responsibility for the surveillance function, and given the fact that the surveillance team is responsible for surveillance for our markets in Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and also for our commodities market in Oslo, the report highlights those areas, both in relation to trading and issuer surveillance.
And apart from describing the activities, the rule interpretations, the important cases, there's also a fair bit of statistics in it, isn't it?
Yes, correct. So the report contains information about number of listings and delistings, both actual listing matters for equities. It contains statistics about non-equity instruments such as bonds and ETPs. It contains information about interventions in trading, both explanatory and records of matters, and it does contain articles on current topics.
In particular with regards to the stats, I mean all of it is really interesting and important of course, but with regards to the stats I think this is actually a very important piece of reference library where you can look up stats on developments for this year and previous years. So if you don't happen to have a printed copy as I do, where can you actually find it?
So the report is available on our website, and I would also recommend that you subscribe to exchange notices used for listed companies, which contain a lot of valuable information.
That's a great tip. So speaking of the 2017 report specifically, what areas would you point to as those that have perhaps had the greatest impact on the surveillance agenda for 2017?
Well, I think that there are four areas that stand out. First, the implementation of MiFID II was a major effort for us as an exchange as well as for market participants in general. And I think especially in relation to derivatives, commodities and fixed income related products. For most of our issuers, the impact has been greater than for us as an exchange, but MiFID II has nevertheless required market-wide collaboration. Secondly, I think the Nordic IPO boom has continued. During 2017, we listed more than 100 companies on our Nordic markets, and this has had a direct impact on surveillance, given that surveillance is both part of the listing process as well as the subsequent surveillance of the trading. Thirdly, the interpretations of the market abuse regulation has evolved since its entry into force in mid-2016. This is positive since it will contribute to better predictability, which is good for the market. And finally, I would like to mention the fintech acceleration. Blockchain, machine learning and cloud computing are all concepts that has flourished during last year, and Nasdaq being a fintech company is part of that development. Within surveillance, we have launched our first machine learning application within our surveillance system, SMARTS, and we are looking forward to other developments in that area.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. For those of you who haven't looked the report up yet, please do, and thank you so much for sharing all of that information.
Thank you.
Rewrite tomorrow.